They've performed for millions, dominated charts, built empires.
How many Grammys does Michael Bolton have? 2 for Best Male Vocalist. I was nominated 4 out of 6 years.
A powerhouse vocalist balancing treatment with world tours. A rock frontman smiling on stage while living with a stage 4 diagnosis. And a reality star turning her platform into a lifeline for others just like her.
I had a clear cell renal carcinoma that had metastasized into my lungs.
These are the stories of strength, silence, and survival.
My tumors have significantly shrunk.
This is celebrities who are battling illnesses you may not know about. Jessie J's voice was her first weapon. Long before life demanded she become a warrior. From the beginning, she sang with a fierceness that couldn't be contained, turning school stages and London pubs into battlegrounds where talent triumphed over circumstance. Music wasn't just a dream, it was her lifeline, her defiance. But behind the soaring notes and unshakable stage presence, an invisible war raged. Meniere's disease threatened to steal her hearing. OCD rewired her thoughts, ADHD made focus a daily fight, and even vocal cord nodules and acid reflux tried to mute her will. Every dizzy spell and panic attack was met with a louder chorus, a higher note. She kept singing, even after enduring a stroke at 18 and grieving a miscarriage that shook her foundation.
In December last year, I lost my hearing and got diagnosed with Meniere's, which I'm sure some of you probably have, or maybe you don't, and it's just me. And then I lost my voice, and then I lost my baby.
Then in 2025, the hardest battle yet. Breast cancer. This time, the fight wasn't hidden. Jessie wielded her diagnosis like a banner, sharing surgery, the scars, and raw vulnerability with the world. "Mummy's gonna be okay," she taught her son before the operation. When complications hit, infection, fluid in her lungs, she didn't retreat. She wrote lyrics between treatments, stayed close to her son, and reminded everyone, "Watch me win."
Now been at the hospital for 6.5 hours, and I'm still waiting to go down to the theater.
The world called her brave, but bravery was just her refusal to surrender. She was leaving her label after 17 years to reclaim control, to create art on her own terms, and to turn pain into stories that might help someone else's silent fight. It was singing, always singing, even when the hospital ward replaced the stage and her body begged for silence. Illness tried to rewrite her story. Jessie J grabbed the pen back and wrote her own damn ending. Brad Arnold never needed a stage to make his voice matter. Long before stadiums roared his lyrics back to him, that deep, soul-carved baritone was already carrying something heavier than melodies: truth. He didn't just sing words, he bore witness. From the humid garages of Escatapa to the platinum records, his music was a lifeline first, an anthem second. Behind the sold-out arenas and shining awards, private wars raged. Alcoholism nearly drowned him before faith pulled him to sobriety. On January 19, 2016, a milestone marked each year. A recovery chip passed from hand to heart. A devastating car accident in 2006 left him rebuilt but unbroken, scarred with reminders of how quickly life skids sideways. Through it all, he wore his scars quietly, letting lyrics cry the pain he seldom voiced aloud.
I think it's my favorite song because it represents my life more than any song that we've ever done. But so many times I feel like I'm crawling up this hill and I'm sliding down and I'm reaching for the sun, I'm reaching for the light, and I just keep either sliding or falling or kicking or something. And we just keep reaching up. We all do that.
Then, In May 2025, the hardest fight yet. Stage 4, clear cell renal cell carcinoma, kidney cancer, already spread to his lung. This time, the battle wasn't his alone. He stood before his fans, faith in hand, declaring, "It's not my time." Not just a chorus now, but a creed. Doctors quoted statistics. Arnold quoted scripture, asking for the prayer warriors to rally and keep fear at bay.
So I'd been sick a couple of weeks ago and then went to the hospital and got checked out and had actually got the diagnosis that I had a clear cell renal carcinoma that had metastasized into my lung. And that's it's stage 4, and that's not real good.
When tours were canceled and treatment began, he didn't hide. Hospital rooms became places of reflection, where guitar chords met quiet prayers. His social updates, sometimes marked by psalms always edged with gratitude, invited fans to stand shoulder to shoulder in the fight. Prayers appreciated, he'd write, not as a plea, but as an invitation. The world called him relentless, but it was pure conviction to let the darkness win, which meant 9 years sober while staring down mortality, which meant canceling shows but never silencing his testimony, which meant to keep singing, singing, and always singing, even when his breath came harder than the high notes. Cancer thought it could rewrite his ending. Brad Arnold picked up his guitar and showed it what faith sounds like. The throne of power Harvey Weinstein once occupied has crumbled into the hard edges of a hospital bed in Bellevue's prison ward, his empire reduced to retrials and lab results. Once the feared gatekeeper of Hollywood dreams, Weinstein now exists in a world defined by monitored vitals and legal motions, a diagnosis of chronic myeloid leukemia, diabetes, and heart disease, forming an unholy trinity of physical decay, mirroring the collapse of his legacy. The same hands that greenlit Oscar-winning films now sign medical consent forms, his own body betraying him with a ruthlessness long echoed in the allegations that toppled his reign.
He has set up a whole life and a company as a front for a factory, a human trafficking factory. I think it'd be best for everyone if he just ceased to exist.
Dark symmetry marks his downfall. Leukemia corrupts his blood as unrelentingly as the toxic culture he built. Breath comes harder after heart surgeries and emergency fluid removals, echoing the careers he suffocated. The wheelchair he's rolled into court with reflects his fragility, echoing the weight of the 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault, a sentence briefly undone by retrial, but not by mercy. His lawyers plead for relief, citing alarming blood work and perilous health, their calls for compassion echoing the unheard testimonies of more than 80 women, voices that propelled the #MeToo movement and turned the world's gaze on his ruin. Justice moves slowly, but its verdicts are relentless.
It's not unusual for women to lie. Women are attracted to powerful men. Women are attracted to older, powerful men.
This spring, Weinstein's latest retrial delivered mixed results. One new conviction, one acquittal, another charge stalled by mistrial, while he awaited further charges and watched court calendars, not call sheets. All the while, his story bled into tabloid headlines: the emergency heart surgery, diabetes mismanaged, bone marrow cancer treatments, cruel reminders that power, like flesh, expires. Now, as new indictments loom and his disease advances, Weinstein's last act unfolds in a cruel tableau. The man who once controlled narratives now watches helplessly as his life becomes a grim, cautionary tale. The Hollywood endings he once crafted have dissolved before reality's harsher truth. Some consequences cannot be edited or evaded. Some call it karma. The courts call it accountability. History will remember it as a reckoning. The power in Michael Bolton's voice was never about volume, it was about vulnerability. Long before he became the defining voice of romantic ballads, there was just a working-class kid from New Haven who understood that true strength lies in emotional honesty. That signature rasp, equal parts passion and pain, wasn't handed down by vocal coaches, but shaped by a life lived raw. When he sang about heartbreak in How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, listeners heard the cracks of his own shattered relationships. When he gave soul to When a Man Loves a Woman, decades of hard-won devotion came through in every chorus. His journey, 1970s hard rock dreamer to 1990s ballad king, wasn't reinvention but arrival. Critics dismissed the sentiment, they missed the point. Bolton gave voice to universal longing, never selling fantasy, always serving confession. Behind the flowing locks and dramatic stage presence stood an artist who treated every song as therapy, every performance as proof.
How many Grammys does Michael Bolton have? 2 for Best Male Vocalist. I was nominated 4 out of 6 years. Can't win them all.
Then in late 2023, the music nearly stopped. Persistent headaches, dizziness, a diagnosis, glioblastoma. 2 brain surgeries, first to remove a tumor, then to treat infection. Weeks of radiation and chemotherapy, the cruel irony of a singer fighting to recall lyrics written over decades. Bolton's treatments tested his memory, speech, and mobility. But for a man who'd spent 50 years turning pain to art, the fight became more than metaphor. He refused prognosis, telling doctors, "I don't want to know the odds." His recovery at home became his new stage, posting updates, sharing gratitude, quiet honesty from Connecticut with daughters and grandchildren close by. No shows, no spotlight, just quiet moments, measured in love and perseverance.
When this first came about, he just was not feeling well. He kind of fell ill during a performance. They didn't really know what was going on with him. And then he was just acting kind of forgetful.
His London comeback was planned for July 2025. The world anticipated it, but the healing demanded pause. No triumphant return, only the promise of more music when strength allowed. Bolton stayed hard at work, crafting new songs like Ain't Going Down Without a Fight, a testament to survival and spirit. Cancer thought it could silence this story. Michael Bolton simply leaned into the microphone and sang the next verse. Teddi Mellencamp never learned how to back down from a challenge. Her entire life has been one relentless barrel race against the odds. That same grit that once propelled her over show jumps now pulls her through hospital corridors. When melanoma first appeared in 2022, she faced it head-on, documenting every step. Skin checks, surgeries, scars, and lessons learned. Every post a wake-up call for vigilance.
I would say today I am doing well. I've learned that it's okay to be like, I'm tired, and listen to my body.
By 2025, when tumors reached her brain and lungs, Teddi turned her diagnosis into the most raw, unfiltered storyline yet, sharing emergency brain surgeries and rounds of immunotherapy, even as side effects forced her to hit pause. What sets Teddi apart isn't just her fight, it's how she's rewriting the script. Between setbacks and hopeful scans, she's still tapping into her podcast for jokes when energy allows, still stepping out when her body cooperates, still parenting 3 kids with the same no-nonsense candor that made her accountability coaching infamous.
My tumors have significantly shrunk, which doctors believe means that this all will work and that I will be back to myself.
Her social media feeds aren't curated inspiration. They're dispatches from the trenches. Bad scan days get equal airtime with small victories. Parenting is measured now in favorite shows, laughter, and quiet moments. Cancer thought it could halt her momentum. Teddi Mellencamp, mid-treatment, mid-life, mid-everything, holds tight to the reins and kicks forward, even as the path gets rocky. Behind every famous smile lies a story untold. Some chose to inspire, while others fought in silence with unimaginable strength. Now that you've seen the hidden battles these stars faced, which story touched you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if this video changed how you see fame, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more powerful stories like these. We'll be back soon with more untold struggles from behind the glamour. Thank you for watching.